Hi everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have, today's Monday and I'm going to film for the next couple of hours here. I forgot it was Veterans Day, so it kind of, I didn't forget. I knew it was Veterans Week, but then there won't be mail today. So I was going to go to the post office and get my thank you things out and get the sentimental Christmas class out. But I can't, so it's going to be a full filming day, and then tomorrow while my cleaner's here and I can't film, I will get all this stuff edited because I have a short week this week because I have a baby shower for my grandson. Well, he's not here yet. For my daughter, for my grandson, coming up this weekend. So I have a bunch of stuff at the end of the week that I have to do. So I'm only going to work through hopefully part of the morning on Wednesday. So I had all of my things ready to film. There's a background to this, and I sent out this video on Saturday. If you didn't miss it, you'll want to go see it because I have a little theme this week, and it was the pearlized enamel effects, which is how I got the gold on this card. I posted it on a couple of places on Facebook, and people were all about how did you get the gold on there. So I have 3 cards. They will all use the pearlized effects. And then as soon as I literally sent this email that said, go watch this video, here's what I'm doing this week, and I had already made the cards, and that same batch, you send and then you receive on your email. I got one from Stampin' Up that said we're having a sale this week. Nothing hardly that I'm using this week is included in this sale, but that doesn't mean you can't add the pearlized effects or something Christmassy to the sale. So the sale starts on the 13th. It goes through the 15th. It lasts for 3 days. And it's in stuff in the annual catalog. So it's 20% off all the bundles, which are already discounted when you buy a bundle. So it's another 20% off of that, and 20% off any of the paper that's in here. So if you're on my email list, I will link, I'll show you past projects that I've done, and I'll link the YouTube video to this that are the tutorials for this catalog. That'll kind of help you a little bit. And then it is 15% off select inks and cardstocks. So it's all of the SU branded stuff. So if it is our inks, our refills, our blends, our markers, those are 10% off. And all of the cardstock that is ours. So if it comes from someplace else, like it was formerly close to my heart, or if it's a memento pad or something that Stampin' Up doesn't make, those aren't on sale. So 20% off bundles and paper, and 10% off most of the inks and the cardstocks in this catalog. So it's a good time to pull this back out. We've been, kind of stuck over there in the holiday catalog for a minute, and make your list. And then as part of the sale, I will be offering some extra added thank yous. So I already have my normal thank you gifts. Anytime you spend $50 with me, you get the free tutorial bundle, and that I'm going to email those probably early next week for everybody that has purchased so far in November. I like to get them out like twice a month. And then I can't remember what I should have wrote that down. I was good about writing down the details for the sale, but I forgot about my specials. But I am adding 2 additional categories if you hit those levels, and it is only good through the 13th through the 15th. But one is I have so much extra ribbon and embellishments. Some of it has recently retired, some of it is current, and you'll just get a grab bag of a ribbon or an embellishment at one level. And then the other level, you will get, I also have, when I send out all of my online classes and clubs, I always do an extra packet in case somebody's gets lost or destroyed in the mail. So I have probably 8 or 10 or so of those, and then I also have a lot of kits. So at another level, you can get the embellishments, and then if you spend enough, you will also get a past class, and if you get a class, I will send you the instructions for it, or a current kit if I run out of classes. So that's the sale. It does start the 13th. Here are just a couple of things I thought I would show you. This is made with annual catalog stuff. Of course, all the cardstock, right, is from the catalog, and these are some designer series papers from the catalog. And then my card club this month also features the wildly flowering. You can see this one's posted. These have new online exclusive products used on them. But the thing is, with this sale, it doesn't matter. You can save 20% off on the bundles and the paper, and then add on everything else, especially to bump you to the level to get my free things. So this is one of the new Happy Hibiscus bundles. Here's another one. And then this is the Wildly Flowering with the set that I'm going to use today. And then here's a random Christmas card. I didn't realize that was there. But if you're still doing Christmas, head over and watch that. You could also get put it all in one order and get it. I will say, if there's something that you are like, I must have this for this project, I would order early in the sale, because when stuff goes on sale like this, sometimes it can sell out or go on back order and not be available throughout the whole entire sale. So today I am using the stamp set Pretty Petals. It is a bundle, but I'm not using any of the dies on this particular card. It is our bonus add-on for Card Club this month. But it's past the 10th, so it's too late to add it on a catalog cost. But that is one of the perks of being in my club. When you see it like this, it's like that's a stamp set. But when you actually use it, it is beautiful. And then we are going to use the Regal Winter paper. So if you are in Card Club, this is our paper from last month. And if you got this, look how well they match. I mean, it looks like this paper was designed for this stamp set. It's similar with the Wildly Flowering as well. This one is more the winter version of colors, as opposed to the Wildly Flowering, which is more of a neutral palette. So I have that. I have a little strip of gold foil. And then I have two of these, because one's we made this at camp. This is watercolor cardstock, and I'll show you why I used it. It wouldn't have to be watercolor cardstock, although I do like the color. I like that it's not white and it's not vanilla. It's a nice neutral with it. So let's start. This card goes together lickety-split. This is vanilla, but it's beautiful. And especially for those of you in Card Club, I think that you will really like having it. And then we're just going to take our watercolor cardstock. And I have two simple colors. I think this would make a really pretty December birthday card, January birthday card, November birthday card. So I have espresso and cherry cobbler. So we'll start with the leaves. Now, when you're working with watercolor cardstock, you want to make sure that when you actually stamp onto the paper, that you hold it down for a longer, I'm not going to say how long, because it just depends, but longer definitely than stamping up and down on regular cardstock, because the paper's so thick and it needs some time to absorb the ink. So I just press it. You don't want to rock it, because then you'll get images, but just press it, let that paper absorb all that ink. And look how beautiful this stamps. Isn't it pretty? It has all those layers of color. Now, the dappling that's on it is because it's watercolor cardstock and it has a very slight texture to it, but we're gonna make it look like water in just a second. And then cherry cobbler. There is a secret to these leaves. Leaves to the flowers. So there's one right here. And see this hole right here? That's where that one goes. So start with that one. You're going to line that one up first, and then you're going to look at see where these things go, where there's stems. You line the bottom one up, and then you just kind of turn the others so they all almost match up to their stem. The nice thing about this set is it doesn't have to be perfect. And again, we're going to hold it down long enough that it absorbs. And here is our stamped image. It's beautiful. But I wanted it to look a little bit more watercolored. Now, there is a trick to this. If you get too much water, it's going to smear. So you have to be kind of careful. But there's two sides to a piece of cardstock, right? Let me see. Let me show you on this one. So we have the little spritzers, and these are in the annual catalog. You can just find them in the tools section of my website. So I just filled it with water. It's been filled with ink or something else in the past, but you just rinse it out. So if you put this here, make sure it's spritzing first, yeah. And you do it really close, then it gets a lot of water, but see how it darkens up that green? If you do it too close over here on the, it looks like that's cherry on there. I don't want it to be that runny. See, I'm losing my leaves. So you want to hold it. You want to make sure that your little spritzer is spritzing. Oh, we've all been there with the hairspray. You don't want to stream. You want it to be the poof. So I'm going to hold it way high up. But look at the color of that after it gets the water on it. And I'm not going to overdo it. I'm going to have a second for the water to kind of absorb. So you can see it's already getting a little bit darker. And then maybe I'll do one more. Two more. It's hard to stop. I'm a more is more person. But now you can see it's kind of darkening all that up. I love the way that it kind of darkens the cherry. And so now I'll do one more. But you can see I'm doing it in layers. I'm not squirt, squirt, squirt. Well, she did 5, so I'm going to do 5. If you do 5 and you're too close, then you will just have ruined it. Let's go back over to my sample and I'll show you. So see how it's all smeary? That was the one that I just did. Let's flip this over to the other side. This is similar-ish colors. I switched colors because I switched paper. So let's do 5 and do them close. 1, whoops, that went the wrong way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're like, well, she did 5, and that's what happens if you're going to be a little bit too close and just do 5 straight up. So we're still at 5 over here, but I've held it higher, and I've let it dissipate more. But I'm going to do one more. Not that this doesn't have a place, because sometimes you may want it to look like that. And on this particular stamp set, because you can die cut both the leaves and the flowers, you could add some definition over the top if you wanted to. But that's not what I want this card to look like, because this is the focal point. So one more, and then one more, and then I'm going to stop. But it's definitely darkened it up. I should have done one that was, because that's how our flowers were looking until they got wet. So it just kind of strengthens the color. It oozes into the paper, but you need to practice, and you need to make sure that whatever spritzer you're using, these are great from the catalog, that it doesn't all of a sudden block, because we've all had those too, you know, where it's good, and then whoops. So this one spritzes really nicely. You just want to make sure if you put other things in it that are not water, that you rinse out the little tube, because paints and inks and stuff can dry in there. So that we have that. It's beautiful. And then we are going to take, this is also a new online exclusive. It is the herringbone folder. And I have a strip of gold foil. And I'm going to lay it just in here. You can see the strip down the middle. That's the piece that I want. Line it up in there so it's straight. If it's not straight, it's fine. You can just trim it. If I get it right, so both sides have equal amounts of gold, that looks pretty good. Then I won't have to trim it. So let me run this through my die cut machine. And then we have a really pretty accent piece. Because I wanted to use this, I wanted to have some gold because it matches our ribbon on the card, but I didn't want to cover up this because this is beautiful. So we are going to take this now, and this is going to go on here. So this is the Regal Winter paper, and my table's wet. It always works better when you put something through the embossing folder to put your adhesive on the flat piece, because if you put it on here, when you press, it's going to press some of that out. And I don't want it pressed out. I want it to be nice and beautiful. So we have this. Let's take a look at this and see if we want to do, I'm going to do one more little squirt. You can see, can you see where like drops of water have gotten it and it's much more cherry? I want it on the leaves. So let's aim it here. I'm going to cover up my flowers and just get it on the leaves. Yep, that darkened those up. I wanted a couple of those to be a little darker brown, and now the ones at the top are a little lighter brown. Let's stick this on here, and because that is wet, again, I'm going to put my adhesive here. Go. And then I'm going to take my ribbon. This is the Cherry Cobbler in Gold. It's a nice thin ribbon. It's really pretty, and it's perfect with this color combination on this card. Who thought that Cherry Cobbler and espresso and a hint of gold could look so majestic, but they do. So tie your bow, cut that. Might be a little bit wet here for this to stick. I got some. It's better to let your stuff dry when you're working at home, but you know, I don't have that opportunity, and the table's wet there, so I don't want to lay this right in center anymore. Flip this direction. You can see where it was still wet. And then just wrap this around. I do want to make sure that this piece right here is flat, so just make sure before you stick it on the back. It can be a little tighter. My adhesive, I think, is a little over further than what I thought it was. Okay, so this one, get this one nice and flat, and then we'll go back and fix this one because my adhesive is not quite. Once you have one, now you know where I'm aiming for on this side, and I already flattened it. There we go. It's Monday morning. We'll leave it at that, right? Isn't that pretty and so simple? Now, I'm going to show you two different embellishments. On my first one that I'm going to show you in a second, I used, these are new online exclusive hearts, and I used the little ones, and I put them on the tips of my flowers and pointed them up. But for this one, remember, we're looking at ways to use pearlized enamel effects. So I am going to grab my red. And this time we're going to kind of use them the way that they are designed to be used, just as little pearls. So we'll start with all our big flowers. And when you have these, unlike embellishments, you can use as many as you want because it takes a long time to use it. And I want to show you a couple of things. See how right now they have those little, I call them the Dairy Queen, the Dairy Queen cone top. They do settle down. So we'll put this here a second. And then do I want to put them on any of the other flowers? Maybe, maybe not. I kind of like them. You could also use the gold, which is what I used on the other card. That's why I went for red. The gold would be pretty. There's silver. Silver probably wouldn't work on this card. So they come in the metallic pack is silver, gold, and copper. And then come back because I have a copper card that's going to blow your mind the way that I used the enamel effects. And then in the basics is the red, white, and black. White would also be pretty. But you can see that they're already starting to tilt down a little bit. And then here's on this one. I'll take a picture on my website if you want to go see that they have rounded off into little pearls. Then you can see them on the picture. But here it is with, see how I put the little hearts on those? So there you go. Come back for the sale. Make sure you're on my email list and you can find out all of the extra offers and thank you gifts that I'll be offering as part of the seasonal sale. It is Stampin' Up's version. You know, we're worldwide, so not everybody has Black Friday. Although I think the rest of the world's starting to kind of like, when I used to live overseas, it was definitely an American thing. But that's been a hot minute since I was in my 20s. So it's called the seasonal sale, and at one point it used to be on Black Friday, just a little bit of history for you. But those of us that are demonstrators, who also are mothers, who also host large holiday festivities, we're like, I don't want to work. I don't want to be manning a sale on this weekend. So they have kind of moved it to the middle of the month. So it's our version of Black Friday. So everybody have a great day, and I'll catch you back here tomorrow with another or probably Wednesday is when the video will post, another fabulous way that you, again, it's going to knock your socks off way to use the enamel effects. Have a great one. Bye.